welcome to another how-to edition of Paranormal Adventures. Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be looking at how you can mod the K2 meter, one like this, so it has sound. Very useful to do because obviously when you're on an investigation, it's quite good. You want to be able to hear EMF that are going on. Perhaps you are holding the EMF meter, the K2 meter, and or it's out of sight somewhere, and you want to obviously be able to detect that something's going off, and you want to see what's going on so you can go and investigate it. Very useful mod. It's very simple to do. Just need some basic soldering skills and a little bit of patience, and we'll show you everything you need to do this. It will not take long. The parts are very easily available on Amazon. So what we were trying to do is get so the K2 meter does this. As you can see, makes a nice loud bleeping noise. So just grab my phone. As you can see, it will make quite a loud noise when there's a EMF coming from my phone here. So that's what we're trying to do. Very simple to do. So I'll just go through the parts that you need now. So what we have here, we have obviously you need a screwdriver to get the back open. You're going to need the Piezo speaker, and I'll put a link below of where you can get that from Amazon. They normally come in packs of 5, ever so cheap, don't cost any, very cheap one to do. Obviously your K2 meter, and you're going to need a soldering iron to do this. So basically there are two versions of the K2 meter. This one is, I think, is a generation 1, but you will also see generation 2, and the difference is that the generation 2 ones have a slightly modified circuit board, but they're both easy to mod. It's not difficult to do, so we will show you how to do both, and hopefully you get something from this and you can mod your own. It's also worth noting that the counterfeit versions of the K2s have very similar circuit boards to the genuine ones, so even if you do have a counterfeit one, you can still do this mod. So hopefully this will help and you can get something from this video. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you have any questions, put them in the comments below and I'll try and help if I can. And yeah, let's get into this. First thing you need to do is obviously take the screws out the back of the K2 to obviously reveal the circuit board and such. I hope you can see that. So what we're looking for, this is a Gen 1 K2 meter, and probably the easier of the two to convert. So what we're looking for is we're going to try and add these the ends of these cables for the Piezo speaker, and they're going to be attached in here, which is, so it doesn't matter whether it's red or black, it makes no difference, but we need to attach a wire 1, 2, 3 in, which is this one here, and if you count to the next one across here, 4, then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the two wires need to be attached here and here. It's probably worth dropping like I've done already on this one, drop a blob of solder on each of these terminals first, then it just makes the soldering a lot easier to do. So this is obviously been pre-done, so I've just taken it off just to show you the process of adding this in. So what we need to do is get one of these wires ready. Hopefully picks it up on my camera okay. It's difficult to try and film this and solder all at the same time. It's nicely on there, like so, and again the same to here. There we go. So that's now attached, and hopefully you can see the speaker there. I say it's a bit difficult doing this hands-free, but obviously you can probably get the idea of what we need to do. So that's on, so as you can see, it's picking up probably from the camera here. There we go. So it's picking up some EMF, possibly from my camera right in front. So obviously what we need to do, we need to obviously fit this inside the K2 itself. And the good thing with these little piezo speakers, they are just about the right size to fit in. It might make life a lot easier if you use a little bit of electrical tape. Now let me just show you. So carefully peel it back here and it will reveal the inside of the K2 meter. Let me just come out on that camera a little bit, hopefully you can see that there. So that's the internals here. But what we need to do, if you look carefully here, there's a little black chip here. I'll make sure I get that in camera. Yeah, a little black chip just there. And what I found, just to make assembly a lot easier, if you just get a small amount of tape, electrical tape, and just dab it on there, like so, and fold it back, and all we need to do is actually then attach the speaker. It's just to hold it in place while we're trying to assemble it. It's not doing anything more than just holding that so it's not going to fall apart when we try and put it back. But there is just enough room inside here to fit the case back. So I'll try and do that now. Hopefully you can see this on camera. Obviously I've got my hands rather full here. The wires just kind of just poke down the side there, out of the way. There's enough room, and then that should all just slot into place. Just get that in a little bit more. It's a little bit fiddly. I'm going to go in. There we go, and it all fits on there. Make sure everything's lined up. There's a little sprocket there and a little tiny one here which just locates it, and put the back on. And you have now modded your K2 for sound. There it is. So again, take the phone, take it close. It will make a sort of chirping type noise. And so when you get EMF. So thanks for looking at this one. In a minute we shall just have a look if you got the version 2 of the K2 meter. We will show you how that one is done. Okay, so this time we're looking at a Mark II or Generation 2 version of the K2 meter. You will see that the circuit board in this one is somewhat different, a bit more sleek, less solder marks on than the Generation 1. It's exactly the same meter at the end of the day though. But what we're looking for this time is we need to attach the wires between number 1 here on the left and count all the way 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here. Okay, and the reason, sorry, not the reason, there are actually a few options with the Generation 2. You don't have to put it on 1 and 8, but you always need to start it with 1 here. So we'll just solder that in now on point 1. Very quickly, again the same thing, drop a bit of blob of solder on the points first. It just makes your life a lot easier when you're trying to actually attach these little wires on. So just meld that in like that and let it dry. That's it, so that's here. But what we got here now, I said 8 and I can demonstrate this. I'm just going to put the soldering iron down. If I put this on 8, here, you will see we are getting, I'm just moving this, it's got a magnetic tipped screwdriver, so we're getting the effect here. We can also put this on 5 and get the same, but it's less intense, and also you can go on the furthest point, but I find that one is not terribly reliable, so I found, and it screeches, so I found the best place to put the second wire is generally seems to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 across here, and that seems to be the happy place for it. It's not strong enough on 5 and it's too much on the final one, so we'll just attach that there. Let's grab the soldering iron. Hopefully I'm still in focus. I hope you can see what I'm doing. As I said, it's difficult to try and film and solder this all at the same time, and just drop the solder onto it like such. There it is, all added, and I'm doing the same thing with the screwdriver. We are getting the results here, so exactly the same thing. And again, inside, turn it over, and just literally there's a little bit more room in actually the Generation 2 casing inside, which I'll show you here. When you can see inside there, it's easier to fit this speaker. It just needs to sit loose in there. It doesn't need anything more than that. There is enough room and height in the K2 casing to take this speaker. So obviously be careful when you choose your speaker that you buy, make sure it's going to fit in the gap, because if it doesn't, then you've got to try and drill it on the side and it looks horrible. So again, just kind of manhandle that in, make sure the battery wires are all, if you can see there, they kind of all try to work their way out, but you get the gist. So in go the wires, match that onto there, make sure everything's there, put the lid back on. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope this will be of any use to you people that want to try and do your own mods on your K2 meters. As I said, it's an easy mod to do, just need a little bit of basic soldering and obviously know where to put the soldering, the points to actually solder to. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll come back soon with another how-to video on all things paranormal. See you next time. Thank you. There is just one other thing to add. Obviously some of these cheap Piezo speakers don't always work great if you've only got one. Sometimes you get this phenomenon, and I'll show you here. So this is wired up the same way as it was before, with a different Piezo speaker. And I don't know if you can hear it, I don't know if it's picking it up on the camera at all. It's making a very slight whine. I don't know if you can pick that up or not. If you do get that, and this will normally mean this is faulty, even though obviously it still works. Obviously if I put something across there, we're still getting the sound, but that whine is quite annoying. So what you can do, best of all, just get another Piezo speaker, but if you don't have one, I've just discovered doing this, you can actually just switch the cables round. So we'll remove the red here and the black here, put the black here very, very quickly, and the red here very quickly. Like so. But as you see, it's faulty, so the volume is still there, it's just not quite so loud. So if you got that situation where, you know, these things are made mass produced, they're cheap, if you got a whine from one of them, there's not much you can do about it. Either switch the wires like this and put up with the fact that it's not going to be as loud, or get yourself some more of these, and hopefully that will solve the problem.